Hello and welcome to the Elemental Entrepreneurship Podcast. I'm your host, Cera, and I am here today with our Equinox and Libra season reading for the collective. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day wherever you are. I'm coming into fall where I am. I'm in Los Angeles, California, and I'm cozy today. It's starting to feel a little bit like fall. Was very resistant to fall. I was really enjoying summer, but I'm coming around to it. I'm starting to enjoy the cozy. Equinox really kind of shifted it for me yesterday. So I'm about to hop into our cards. I'm going to give just two little quick pieces of business, little announcements before I go into the cards. One is that in October, I am opening up the doors for Best Year Yet. Best Year Yet is my private one-on-one year-long coaching and mentorship program. I pretty much only open the doors at this time of year and lock people in for the year ahead. So we are right now about to start booking for 2025. But right now in September, it is pre-sale. So you are able to get the best possible deal, the longest payment plan, the lowest price possible if you decide to lock in your spot for 2025 in September. So if you decide you want to sign up early, you can get 3 months of coaching for free. I will coach you October, November, December, and then all of 2025. And you can get a 16-month payment plan, which I believe makes it $12.50 a month for 3 calls a month. Voxer support. This year, you also get access to Powerhouse Mastermind, my private high-level mastermind for established entrepreneurs. This is the best, most high-touch, most intimate way to work with me. I am by your side in your business, in your life, all the way through the year, supporting you through reaching all of your goals. And if we're starting early, then I am supporting you through setting the goals that are going to carry you through 2025, as well as helping you reach them. So that is available for you right now. If you would like that, all you have to do is email me intuitiveedgecoaching@gmail.com. You can just send the words best year yet, or you can DM me on Instagram, just the words best year yet, and I will get you an application and we will get that process started. So again, there's basically a week available right now that you can lock in the lowest price, the best payment plan, and 3 months of free coaching if you sign up in September. And that is before it opens up to the public. Every year I only take 5 of these. I currently only have 4 spots left. So if I fill up those 4 spots, they're gone. And that's what's happening. So I just wanted to let you know that that is available for you right now. And I would love to talk with you about working together intimately in 2025 if you are looking for that level and depth of support. Okay, that's all I'm going to go into. I'm just going to start going into the cards. So this reading feels to me very much like it's about perfectionism. There are some of you out here, I'll just get into it. The word is the word. So I always, if you're new here, we do the same 6 prompts in the same order every time. The cards have been pre-shuffled and prayed over, and they fall out the way that they fall out. I take notes, and then I come on and share this reading with you. So we always start with what is going on with you right now. And the card that we got for that is the shock of the new. So there are a lot of things that this card is about. Something new is stirring within you right now, or it's about to. A big breakthrough, a big transformation. You're being called into a big transformation. And it may be hard to even fully decipher what this big transformation is because it feels strange. Like something about the way that you think about yourself, your beliefs about the world and who you're allowed to be and how you're allowed to be that is changing right now. And it may feel like it's such a departure from how you knew yourself to be and who you knew yourself as, that it's almost hard for you to like fully accept that this vision is coming through, that you're having this idea or this inkling right now. And it can feel so different, like this idea of where life is leading you, that it makes you doubt yourself even, that you're like, I don't know if I should really do this. Now, because of the way this card and the rest of these cards stacked up, I'm going to say this message the way that I feel it. Some of you are being called into a breakthrough in your business. It is either to start a business, It is a big pivot in your business. You're being asked to go a new direction. You're going to completely change your niche, your ideal client. You're going to change what you're offering. You're going to completely rebrand, or you're going to start putting yourself out there in a way that you never have before. I have one specific client who I'm thinking of right now. Like you're being called into this next level. And it is through your work. It's about like being visible, being on the world stage. And maybe you've always thought like, I don't even want that big a business. I just want to help people privately. I only want a few clients. I don't really need that much. And you felt very resistant to being on a bigger stage, right? Whether that is marketing online, having a YouTube channel, having a podcast, speaking on stages, putting out a new product. Like there's something that you are being called to do that's going to require you to change the way you think about yourself, especially as it pertains to visibility. You just are being called to be seen more. And what I'm getting, and we're going to go through this, is that like that is very stressful for you. You've always maybe wanted to be someone who's kind of in the background. You've always wanted to be somebody who plays things kind of small, keeps things kind of safe, lives kind of a quiet life. And the thing that is coming up in this card is you may have convinced yourself that that's because you like it that way. You may have convinced yourself that everybody who's really famous is a shitty person, that people who market online are cringy, that being online in general is scary and dangerous and nothing good happens online and you don't want to put yourself out there like that. But what's really happening is that at some point you really internalized messages that you were weird, that you were exotic or unusual or eccentric or bizarre, that you're not beautiful, quote unquote, right? The way that, right, stereotypically, you're not conventionally beautiful. Now, this may or may not be true. It's just what you think about yourself. And possibly you went through some bullying around this as a kid, but essentially, like at some point, you decided that like you're not conventionally appealing or attractive, that you're too weird, and that the things you think are too weird, the work you do is too weird, people are going to judge you, and that it's better to play small, right? So all these beliefs you have about whatever they are, the internet is scary and people are just going to troll you and everybody's going to be mean and it's all a cesspool and nothing good happens there. Or, people who have too big of a platform, get a guru complex, whatever these things are that you've convinced yourself, like the root of them underneath is that as a kid, you decided that like drawing attention is dangerous for you because you're not beautiful. And you started really desiring to fit in and to fly under the radar. Right? Like sometimes when you're like in middle school, like that's the best thing you can hope for is just to not attract attention at all because you're not getting positive attention. And so there's this feeling of like, I just don't want anyone to notice me. I just want to fly under the radar. I just want to do like a good job and get through. So at some point in your life, you kind of took on this idea that it's better to play small and not be seen and not to attract a ton of attention, because that's going to be safer for you. And this new shift in your life, this new level in your business is like you're going to really have to change all your ideas about all whatever this is related to visibility. Like what I really get the feeling that you've convinced yourself, you have some very strong beliefs about not wanting to be too big, not wanting too much, not wanting too many eyes on you, not wanting to be seen too much. But the way that you think of it is not the truth of where the wound really lies, that the real hang up that you have about being seen is something more about fear of being judged. And so this card really talks about being beautiful the way that nature is beautiful. When we think about the way that nature is beautiful, it's not symmetric, right? There are no right angles in nature. Nature's beauty is strange and wild and diverse, like those weird bioluminescent fish and underwater creatures are always what comes to me when I think about the way that nature's beauty is strange, like salamanders, right? Like there's so many things in nature that are beautiful and they are strange. Humans try to make beauty organized and symmetrical and hegemonous and monotone, right? Nature's beauty is not like that. Nature's beauty is wild and sometimes very bizarre. And so that is the type of beauty that you're bringing, whether it is your physical appearance, your ideas, the way you portray things, the way that you share things. Like your beauty is yours and it is important, it is vital. So you are being asked right now to look at and let go of any fears that you have around being seen as exotic or unusual or eccentric or bizarre. You are being called to make peace with the type of beauty that you bring, the type of beauty that you are, the type of beauty that your work is. Life needs to happen through you. This old way of being where you were playing small and able to hide and able to kind of like skate along without drawing too much attention to yourself, that is on its way out. And these old beliefs you've been carrying about why it's better for you to do things like that are on their way out. You are being like not just invited, but like kind of like dragged and coerced into the new. And you can handle it. You can handle this. You are stepping into something very new in your life and you're being asked not to reject it. So whether the small thing feels small and insignificant or powerful and huge and life-changing, whatever it is, it's time to stop relying on your old ways of thinking, your old ways of being, the old tools that you used to navigate. You have outgrown those methods. You need to trust that life is going to show you the way as you start to step into new ways to be. But basically what's going on right now is you're either currently being or about to be catapulted into a new level of your business, of your life, of your creative expression. And it's going to be a huge liberation for you. It's going to bring you a huge transformation. It's going to bring you a lot of joy, but it is also going to feel strange for you because it really is going to ask you to shift your beliefs about the world. You are being asked to become more of yourself, to become more open to where life is leading you. And that's going to feel like a departure from where you've been, because I really get the feeling with this and the next card that where you've been is in trying to control and manage everything, trying to control and manage yourself and other people's perceptions of you, and trying to draw as little attention to yourself as possible. That is not going to work for where you're headed. So what is the block you're experiencing for that? The card that came up for our block is Heaven Sent. This card is about spiritual gifts. And basically the block here around like allowing yourself to be seen is that you don't trust, you don't trust, you don't trust other people. You don't trust life. You don't trust the universe or God. Like you don't fully trust that all of our requests for help are answered. You don't trust that there is a benevolence to life, that life knows what you need and how it can best come to you, even during times where you're not entirely clear on what you need or what's going to happen for you. Right. So this shift that you're being called into, part of it feels so overwhelming and scary for you because you're holding this idea that nobody is trustworthy, that there's no people out there who are going to value you, that there's no people out there who are going to see your beauty and who are going to appreciate the things that you're bringing. There's nobody out there who's going to support your work. You don't even believe that the universe is going to support you in your efforts. So it's this feeling that I want to accomplish things, but I don't actually believe that it's going to be capable. Or I feel like I have to do everything all on my own. I am solely responsible for the outcome of this thing. But you are not solely responsible. Other people are responsible as well. Spiritual forces are responsible as well. The universe is responsible as well. Everything is answered when you are stepping into this thing of letting yourself be seen, accepting your own wild beauty, accepting the ways that you're different, and letting yourself be seen for the difference that you are. There are going to be people who will love it. You are going to be empowered to accomplish everything that you've been wanting to accomplish, but you haven't been able to do it all on your own because you're not meant to do it on your own. This block that you're experiencing is about control, right? And the control is I don't trust people to be there for me. I don't trust that I'm not going to get picked on. I don't trust that people aren't going to be mean to me. I don't trust that people are going to show up for me. I don't trust that I have an audience. I don't trust that everything's going to work out, right? Like there's just this lack of faith that everything is going to work the way that you want it to work. And so the shift that you're being called into right now is to really start to cultivate your faith, your trust muscle, to really start to cultivate belief that you can accomplish everything you've been wanting to accomplish as long as you are showing up and putting yourself out there in the world so that other people can support you, right? Like, where do spiritual gifts come from? They usually come through other human beings, people showing up and helping you, people introducing you to someone. It might be something really immediately obvious that's going to come through, right? It might be a windfall or a trip or making a new friend, bringing on a new client, a new relationship, like a remarkable healing in a current relationship. It might be something like that, but it also might be something more subtle. And so you're being asked to really pay attention, right? It might be like a jolt of energy, a new perspective that suddenly drops in, some aha moment that allows you to suddenly solve a problem that you have not been able to solve on your own. Start paying attention to signs, to synchronicities, to the people who show up, who encourage you. As you start to step out a little bit and share with people, here's what I'm thinking, here's what I'm going to do, here's what I'm going to try. There are going to be people who are going to come forward and be like, yes, that's a good idea. I think you should do that. Oh my gosh, that's so valuable. Let me introduce you to someone who can help. But it is going to take you starting to believe that that support is available for you and to step forward on faith. This card also says, like, you may not fully even understand why you feel called to do the things that you feel called to do, why you feel called to talk to certain people. You might just get this nudge or this ping, like, I should talk to this person, I should make this call, I should introduce myself to this person, I should connect with this person. Like, do it. When you're having those nudges, do it. And when they work out, when those people like your ideas, when those people support you, when they offer to introduce you to someone or say, oh yeah, I'll share that for you, whatever that is, take that as proof, right? To start to reprogram this faith muscle that, like, yes, this is possible. This is working. You're being asked again to let life happen through you. So this block right now, because you are trying to control your image, to control people's perceptions of you, to not be perceived as too weird or too out there, you're overthinking and over censoring yourself and blocking yourself. And because of that, you are stopping yourself from also being a spiritual gift to others, right? There is work that you're here to share, things that you're here to create, things that you're here to say that are for the benefit of others. That's why they're on your spirit to share. But because you've been trying to control everything and not be seen as too weird, too out there, too whatever, you're not allowing yourself to be used, to be a gift for others, to be a benefit to others. The final thing about this is that you don't trust that anybody's going to help you. This card is about, like, the block you have is to letting yourself be seen, but also to letting yourself be helped. Letting yourself be helped by other people, whether that is getting yourself a mentor, sharing this information of what you're trying to do with people, and allowing other people to support you financially, physically, practically, emotionally. Like, let yourself be helped and trust that you can be helped, that you will be helped if you allow life to happen through you. If you open yourself up, you will be helped. So this is the major block that is happening right now for you around allowing yourself to step into this new level of yourself, your life, your work, is trusting that there's going to be people out there and that you will be helped. That's the thing that we need to work through right now in this season. I will offer real quick. I have a little toolkit. I'll put it in the show notes. If you're listening to this on the podcast, I'll put it in the show notes on YouTube. If you're on Instagram, you can just comment professionally delusional or PD, and I'll send it to you. I have a little toolkit that I made called Professionally Delusional. Ignore the results you're getting until you get the results you want. This is not a course. It is a spirit-based toolkit to help in the moments where you're doubting that things are going to work out. You're doubting your launch, you're doubting your ideas, you're doubting your business, you're feeling like, oh, there's no way this will ever work. This is a little toolkit. It has just some things that you can use right in that moment. It has a subliminal affirmations audio track that you can put on while you're working. It has a tapping practice to overcome fear of failure. It has a next level self journal that will help guide you through what you're trying to accomplish. It has a few other things in there that you can just grab and use in a moment when you're feeling some doubt. So if that is a form of help that you need, I'm happy to be a person who helps you on this journey, who helps you recover your faith, but really focusing right now when you're having thoughts, when you're having feelings that this isn't going to work, this is too weird, nobody's going to like it. That is the clue that you are in your block and not in your dharma. And so when those things come up, that's what to put your attention for your shadow work on right now. How do we get out of this block of not trusting that people are going to be there for us, that this is possible for me, that I can be helped, that I can be supported? So what's the gift that comes when you release your block? Well, the gift that comes is you get out of perfectionism. That's the gift. The card is release the dark wound and let love live. The dark wound is perfectionism. So there is part of your brain that demands perfection and denies process, right? I don't want to go through the steps. I just want to be done and I want the finished product to be perfect. I want to wave a magic wand and have this done, complete, finished project. I want to drop my Instagram. I want to open my business Instagram today and have 1 million followers and a 7-figure business by tomorrow. I just want to drop arrived at the top of the mountain. I don't want to climb the mountain. No, the goal is to go through the process. We need the process. If you were to just be dropped on the top of the mountain, you wouldn't have actually built up the altitude and bariatric pressure. Is that the right word? But basically, right, like you'd pass out because the ability to withstand the altitude and to adapt and to breathe is going to be cultivated slowly on your way up the mountain. So if you just got dropped on the top of the mountain, you'd probably freaking pass out, right? Like it's not actually good for us. Like if tomorrow, I tell this to my clients all the time, you want to go viral so bad. You want to have, like these miracle things happen in your business. But if you were to get 100 orders tonight, could you fill them? Or would it tank your business? If you were to go viral tonight and you woke up with 500,000 followers, could you actually handle that much attention? Or is the way that you build the stamina and the capacity to hold that much cultivated during the growth process? It's cultivated during the growth process. But the part of our brain that's perfectionistic, that wants us to just arrive finished and deny the process, doesn't think like that, right? That part of our brain is just telling us, like, I just want to arrive. I just want to be there. I just want the results. I just want the destination. This is fucking you up. And this is what's released when we move through this block of not trusting. Right. And so again, going back to card 1, this idea that people are going to think you're too weird, people aren't going to like you, you have to control your image. All of this is perfectionism. So this card talks about, like, you want to write a book, but you're worried about not getting a good enough publisher and you haven't even started writing your book, or you've been fooling around with a song. It's not even done yet, but you're comparing this unfinished song to like the #1 song on the charts right now. You're thinking you're not good enough. You're not worthy enough to succeed before you've even opened your business, right? And so like these thoughts where you're prejudging the finished product as not good enough. First of all, like this is a protective mechanism connected to this thing, right? People are going to think you're too weird. You're going to get bad attention. You're going to be bullied. These bad things are going to happen. So your brain is trying to protect you, right? Like your brain is not an asshole. Your brain is trying to protect you from anything bad happening to you. But first of all, your brain can't protect you from anything bad happening to you. No matter what you worry about, bad things are going to happen and good things are going to happen. So sometimes when our brain is trying to protect us from bad things happening, what it actually protects us from is anything happening. Because if you won't write the book because you're worried that book's not going to be good enough, you're protected from a potentially negative experience, but you're also being protected from the positive experience of creating the book, of being able to be proud of yourself, of potentially selling it, of having people read it, of having it be touch people's lives, right? You're not just being protected from the bad things, you're stopping yourself from experiencing anything. And that is not the move. So by starting to work on cultivating trust that the right people for you, the right people for your work are out there and will support you and will like you and will buy from you, when you start to go into that, I don't need it to be for everyone. I just need it to be for the right people. And those people are out there. That is going to let you out of the death grip of perfectionism and allow you to let your ideas live. And that's what needs to happen. Your ideas need a chance to live. Love is abundant and creative and inspiring. And you are being asked to honor the path of your own love, to honor that what is inspiring to you, what feels exciting and joyful to you, even if it's really different, there's going to be other people out there who feel the same way. And when you let that thing live, when you let go of the dark wounding of false belief and telling yourself these negative stories about how nobody's going to like it and it's not going to work, you open yourself up to having tons of experiences, right? A higher voltage of experience in the positive and potentially in the negative, but the potential positive outcomes far outweigh the negative, and what you're going to be able to share with people, how you're going to be able to impact those people is far beyond what you can even imagine right now. So I want you to think about, like, what if your favorite album, this makes me emotional to think about, but like your favorite album that got you through some of the hardest times in your life, what if that album had never been released because that artist gave in to the dark wound? Because that artist was like, this isn't good enough and I'm not going to put it out. And you never got to experience that album. You never had that thing by your side to carry you through that hard time. Same thing with like your favorite book, your favorite movie. What if the artist who created that had never let it be published because they were too wrapped up in their dark wound and they were telling themselves it's not going to be good enough and no one's going to like it? If you had never gotten to experience that piece of art because that artist rejected their work before you had a chance to see it, this is what's at stake. Your thing that you're sitting on, this work that you're holding inside you that you're not letting out because you're so afraid of like what negative people are going to say, that could be the piece of work that gets someone through a really hard time in their life. That could be something that really changes things for people. That could be something that's so inspiring for others. And you're not letting yourself create it because you're so worried about the people who aren't going to buy from you in the first place. The people who hate your work are going to hate your work, like no matter what. There are people who hate me. There are people who think I'm stupid. There are people who think my work is evil. There are people who think my work is the dumbest thing ever. Fine. But the people who it's for. And I would be doing all of those people and myself this huge disservice if I was so focused on the people who are determined not to like me that I said, okay, well, if these people don't like me, I will not create anything. I will let them win. I will let people who don't like me dictate what I do with my life. That's what we're doing when we're in perfectionism to this point that we're prejudging our own work and saying, I'm not going to create anything because people might not like it. People might judge it. People might say it's too weird. Okay, so we're deciding that people we've never met who don't like us get to decide what we do with the course of our lives. Does that feel like a great plan? Does that feel like the reason you incarnated into a human body? Because to me, it does not. We are not here to be bullied into not expressing our gifts, to placate other people who would not like us no matter what the fuck we did. There's that Dita Von Teese quote. You can be the ripest, juiciest peach in the world, but there's still going to be people who don't like peaches. There's nothing you can do about that. But imagine that you tried to spend your whole life just not being a peach because there are people out there who don't like peaches. Like, fuck that. Fuck that. There are so many people right now listening to this right now. And it like, again, like this is the thing that breaks my heart. This is my why. This is the reason that I do the work that I do. There are somebody listening right now who has a piece of artwork inside you that is going to change people's lives, and you're not letting it out because you don't think it's going to be good enough or because you think you're going to be judged. You are sitting on something right now that could heal people, that could help people, that could change people, that could soothe their aching, that could inspire them, that could bring them hope. Like you have something in you right now that is so important to humanity. And you're just sitting on it because you're afraid of being criticized more than you're dedicated to loving yourself, right? And when I say yourself, I mean your own creativity, the creative gifts that have been bestowed upon you as a human being. This is something that you were brought here to create, brought here to do. And what self-love really is to me is being willing to honor your creative impulses, your ideas, your drives, your desires above everything else, enough that you're willing to put energy, resources, time, money, effort behind them and say, this is the thing that I'm called to do. It may not be for everybody, but I really back myself. I back my own plays. I love myself enough to honor the gifts and skills and talents that I came here with and to honor my creative impulses. That's what I'm here to do. Like, that's what that love looks like. You are being asked to honor your own gifts. Whether this thing that you're going to make is going to be commercially successful, is meant to make you money, or is designed to be something more personal, it doesn't matter. It still needs to be allowed to live without judgment or criticism and without premature evaluation. This thing that you're being called to create, it needs to be allowed to be what it is. And you have to understand that it is the process, right, that reveals what the thing is. You don't even know what it is yet. This idea that you have for a business, for a book, for a piece of art, you don't even actually know what it is yet. You won't even know what it is until you put your time, love, patience, and attention into creating it. That's how the thing is revealed. So you're prejudging something, you don't even know what it is, and you're not allowing it to live because you are telling yourself a story that strangers are prejudging the thing. All of it is made up and all of it is bullshit. This is the new. This is the new thing that you're being catapulted into. It's this new realization that you've been spending your whole life trying to please people who are never going to be fucking pleased with you to begin with, and really saying, fuck those people. I'm here to do my thing. I'm here to share my gifts. I'm here to be me in the biggest, boldest, loudest, most self-expressed way possible, whatever that looks like for you. And the people who are meant to experience it are going to love it. And the people who aren't going to love it aren't going to love it no matter what I do. So I may as well just be my fucking self. Right. So this is just, it really gets me on one because I can feel in the field how many people right now are sitting on something that is really valuable and really life-changing for people, and you're not letting yourself share it because you are prejudging it in your head, again, because you're afraid of being seen as weird or too exotic or too out there or too something. There's big witch wound around this. So cultivating the trust. It just keeps coming back to that, cultivating, being so focused on trusting that there are people out there who want this work, who want you, who want your work your way, who want your unique wild beauty, and that your focus needs to be on creating for them and ignoring and blocking out everyone else. That's the healing here. And as you start to do that and you start to find those people, it will more and more allow you to release that dark wound. But just again, I have to say, your ideas, your creations, they need to be allowed to live. They need to be allowed to flourish and be shaped without your judgment and without your criticism, right? Like thinking of it like a child, like the world is harsh enough. There are going to be people out there, we cannot help this, who are going to say mean and hurtful things to our children, but you at home don't need to be mean to your kids to prepare them for the world being mean, right? Like that's not the way we want to do things. We want to be the place, I don't have human children, but I would imagine, right? We want to be the place where they get the most love, the most support, the most praise, the place where they get their cup refilled and replenished, the place where they build the strength to go back out into the world. Why would we not want to be that? Why would we want to be the type of parent to our own creative ideas and blessings? Why would we want to be the type of parent to our own artwork that we're like, well, I'm going to pre-criticize you and judge you and punish you harsher than anyone else so that when you go out there, you're prepared? Ew, absolutely not. That's not what we're trying to be in the world. At least that's not what I want to be in my world. So, how do you deal with other people during this time as you're going through this transition? The card that we got is, what do you feel? This is really important because basically there's a lot of opinions around you, right? And that this can be friends and family. It can also just be the internet. It can be that you're caught up in other people who do what you do. You can unfollow everybody who does the same thing as you. If you look through my page, I don't really follow a lot of coaches. I don't follow other people who are doing what I do because I don't want to be influenced by my peers. I don't want to be looking at what other people are doing and thinking, well, should I be doing that? It's so much better for me to focus only on what I'm trying to do and what I feel is right. So if you need to do that, right, go clear out, only follow things that actually inspire you and excite you and fill your cup. Um, get rid of all of these opinions swirling around you about what you do. Some of these opinions can be helpful, but others are distracting you from your truth. It can be helpful to hear the thoughts of others, but when it comes down to it, you need to make your own decisions. No one else can be the source of your decision-making power. So essentially, this card says, like, you're getting too caught up in thinking about things, like thinking things through. You're being too caught up in thinking, how do I want to do this thing? How do I want to, again, how do I want to launch? How do I want to be perceived? How do I want to manage it? And all of this thinking things through. This is something I encounter so often on client calls. People are like, well, what's the strategy that's going to work? Right? That's the thing. Well, what's going to work? And by what's going to work, they mean, what's going to be the most successful? What's going to make me the most money? What's going to get me the highest return with the lowest investment? What's going to shield me from the most harm? What's going to shield me from the most disappointment? And the answer is like everything works, but also like nothing works. By which I mean, like, there's no best one right way. And so many of us want there to be a best one right way. We think, like, if I can pre-plan everything and I can execute it all perfectly, if I can perfect it all behind the scenes, then when I launch, it'll be perfect and I'll be shielded from any possible disappointment. Like, it never works like that. So right now, you're really caught up, and you have been, in trying to think this thing through and think about how you're going to do it. And you're in analysis paralysis, and you're stuck in the logic of trying to make these decisions. You got to just realize that any path forward is the right one, even if it's not the best path, because you can change your approach later on. If you are slightly off base with the decision, you can make a new decision and you can get back on track, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to make the choice that feels the most honoring. And so right now, like, your kind of way of dealing with other people is that you're all up in your head and analyzing how every single thing is going to go and trying to agonize over every possible choice. And like, right, it's all this perception management is what keeps coming back. Perception management is the word that's just echoing my head. Everything that you're going through, all of this, like, it's a lot of suffering. Like, I feel very buzzy in the crowd. Like, it's all just a lot of struggle and suffer about trying to manage what everyone else thinks of you and trying to make the quote unquote best right decision all the time, because you don't want anyone to judge you or anything bad to happen or anyone to tell you that you did anything wrong or anyone to tell you that you made a bad move. Like, all of it is just you trying to come up with ways to manage other people's perceptions and avoid anything bad from ever happening to you. And again, what you're avoiding is anything from ever happening to you, not anything bad, just anything. You've got to start asking yourself a new question. And the new question is, what do I feel right now? And make your choice from there. What do I feel? What do I feel? What feels exciting to me? What feels like it opens me up? What feels expansive in my body? What do I feel my heart open toward? And what do I feel my heart contract against? What do I feel right now? And when you ask yourself that, what do I feel? Not what do I think? What do I feel right now? And you can start doing this with small things, right? Like before you eat, put your hands on your tummy and close your eyes and ask your body, what do we want to eat right now? What do you want to eat right now? And eat the thing that feels like it sounds the most nourishing, the most yummy, the most exciting. What do I want to do this afternoon with my time off? And ask your body, right? So even allowing your body and your feelings to shape and guide your small choices, to start practicing making decisions differently without any drama associated with the decision, being led by your feelings and starting to practice making decisions based upon how you feel is a really powerful trigger for greater magic to enter your life. It doesn't matter that you make the most perfect choice ever. It doesn't matter that you do the most wonderful thing ever. What matters is that you're simply taking action from your heart and you're opening yourself up to the creative flow, the creative magic of life without worrying so much all the time about how everything's going to work out. I cannot, it's just every single card here is about like you are really in your head trying to manage how everything's all going to work out all the time. And I have so much empathy and compassion for that, right? Because that is always born of pain. It is always born of trauma. It is always born of experience, right? That's how our brains operate. Bad things happened to me in the past, and now my brain works overtime trying to make sure another bad thing doesn't happen. So I get it. But the healing that is required for you right now is to start trusting that things are going to be okay. Like you can handle being disappointed. You can handle if somebody doesn't like your work. You can handle a hater on the internet. Like you can handle all these things that you're telling yourself you can't handle and need to be protected from. You absolutely can. And all the bad things are not everything that's going to happen. There's going to be so much goodness when you allow yourself to start putting yourself out there. And so this, it's just reiterated in every single card in this reading that the shift out of this voice in your head that says that things are going to be bad and that things aren't going to work out, like this is the healing that you're being called to right now. Making decisions based on what you feel, not trying to analyze everything and come out with the safest option. So what is the message from your spirit guides right now? The message from your spirit guides right now is you've got to reconnect to hope. The card is Pandora's gift, and the gift is hope. All is not lost. There is light stirring within you, right? This new revelation, this new life, this new adventure that you're being called into. This new phase where you're letting go of any misplaced judgments and guilt that you like shame that you hang over yourself about something terrible happening. There's also this like really like the word that's coming to my mind is carceral, like this internalized carceral mindset that like it's this shame-based belief in punishment, right? This belief that you deserve to be taken to task over any perceived imperfection, that like other people are allowed to have a human journey, but you're not. And it somehow makes you inadequate to have a normal human journey, right? Like I was talking to a client recently about starting a podcast and the perfectionism that I heard her getting into around like, I just want it to be so good. And like, you can read all the books about podcasting, you can watch all the videos about it, but at a certain point, you still have to start and you're not going to feel confident because you've never done it before. And that's how that works. Like competence breeds confidence. You have to become competent in something before you feel confident at it. So no matter how much you intellectually prepare, it is not going to be until you start doing the thing that you're going to start feeling confident about doing the thing, which may mean that your first 50 podcast episodes suck. Your first 100 podcast episodes might suck. That's okay. But like, you're not allowing yourself to go on a normal human journey. You're telling yourself other people are allowed to progress gradually, but not me. I have to be perfect right out the gate. Other people are allowed to muddle through and struggle, not me. I have to be perfect right out the gate. You have some shame-based belief that you deserve to be punished over anything that's imperfect. And it is time to let that go. There is no shame in a growth process. There is no shame in a learning process. Your spirit guides want you to know that it is time to swap the notion of inherent shame for acceptance of your inherent divinity. To swap the notion of inherent shame for acceptance of your inherent divinity. And I want to say that your inherent divinity is also your inherent humanity. How divine, how special it is to be a human being muddling through, to be a human being creating and sharing and connecting with other human beings. That is divine. We would not be here if it weren't. You would not have incarnated into a human body if you were not meant to go through these processes. Your inherent divinity, meaning you became a human with gifts, skills, talents, a calling on your life and your heart, something that you're meant to share with others. And doing that is your divine reason, your divine process. It doesn't mean that every single phase of it has to be perfect. It doesn't mean that every single human on earth has to like it, but it is your divinity to be here and to express you, the you-ness of you in the world. You are starting to break free from the criticisms of the world, from power games. You are being asked to let go, to disobey everything that is not the divine order of you being the person that you're here to be and creating the things that you're here to create. Everything that has been said about you or people like you, all of the criticisms that you're holding in your head, it's time for you to shrug that shit off and recognize that you are a bearer of beauty, of light, of gifts, of medicine that is needed here on the planet, or you wouldn't keep wanting to create these things. You wouldn't keep wanting to do this. Our desires are not here to torment us. They are not here to torture us. They are here to guide the path for what we're supposed to be doing in our lives. You would not want to create this thing if you were not meant to have it. Trust that you are a being of hope. You are being asked to look into your own self and find the light, the talent, the ability within you that needs to be acknowledged, not by other people, because that's the other thing. You're waiting for someone else to come along and tell you that it's good before you'll share it. You want everyone to tell you it's good before you'll share it. You want to guarantee that your business is going to be successful before you've dropped an offer. You want to guarantee that people are going to like your work before you share it. It doesn't work like that. The acknowledgement that you need is actually yours. That love that you're needing, that encouragement that you're needing is from you to you. There is something within you that needs to be acknowledged by you. There is a worthy seed of something beautiful and necessary in you. And if you choose to develop and express this seed, it will become an extraordinary light in your life and in the world. But you've got to say, fuck the haters, and turn your attention away from all the people who might not like it and all the things that could go wrong to the hope that you have within yourself and to the faith that you were born to share your gifts with the world, and to the faith that there are going to be people out there who are for you and who support you, and that your work is for those people. So how do you bring this into form? The final message is inspiration. This thing, this new idea that you're being called into, has captured your attention. And if it hasn't happened already, it will very soon. It will during this season. So keep your eyes and your mind open for, like, all of a sudden I'm being tugged to do this thing that feels like so exposing and so unlike me because I always play it safe. It's coming. And you are being encouraged to accept this vision, accept this idea as important to your creative growth, to your spiritual growth, to your personal growth. You're being reminded that it is possible, and it wouldn't be being shown to you if it were not possible. This card has all these little bees on it, and it talks about how bees are able to fly. They can get off the ground with wings that are so much smaller than their body compared to the density of their body. And they can do this because of the speed with which their wings move. And so there's this idea that you have that my idea is so big, this thing that I want to do is so big, I can't get it off the ground. The longer, first of all, the longer you sit in inertia and judgment, it's not going to move, right? The bee lifts off the ground because of the speed with which its wings move. You're being encouraged to move into action faster. Don't sit around and think and ruminate. Ask how you feel and move forward with trust that it's going to work out for you, and things are going to start to happen. More speed, more action, more movement. The other thing is, this thing can get off the ground and succeed because you're going to attract helpers to you. Like, the earth itself is going to support the success of this project because this thing that you're going to create is going to help other people. It's going to benefit the greater good as well as your own growth and development. So this card is bringing you confidence to allow inspiration to fill you with enthusiasm, to start expecting magic and synchronicities to come into your life. People, situations, opportunities are going to start falling into place to help make your inspiration a reality, because your idea has the potential to blossom into something so much bigger than you even realize right now. Again, you don't even know what the thing is yet. This thing that you're already judging as being not good enough, you don't even know what it is yet. It is so much bigger than you even know. It is so much bigger than you even think it is. It has huge, huge potential. It can become something that feeds and nourishes others on their creative journey, on their healing path. This thing has the quality of a mission. It is so much more than just one idea. When inspiration comes from source, right? When inspiration comes from the greater intelligence of the universe, yes, it's coming through you as the human vessel, but it is coming from source. And when that happens, everything that's needed to bring it into being is going to be available for you at the right time as you channel that idea, as long as you are open and receptive and trusting and enthusiastic about what is coming through you. Everything that's required for each step of this journey is going to be attracted to you, and it is going to support you in the success of this project according to divine timing. Now, that according to divine timing part is really important, because sometimes we're like, I want everything to be attracted to me immediately. And if it's not attracted to me immediately, I'm going right back to my doubt. I'm going to go right back to my old story that means this isn't good enough and nobody likes it. And then you quit. That's not the business. It will come to you in divine timing. One of the things that I always think about with divine timing, I'm a person who grew up taking public transit. I'm from the Bay Area. I did not learn how to drive until I was 30. So I always rode the bus and the train. If you rush to the bus stop, the reward that you receive for rushing to the bus stop is now you have to sit outside in the cold for 20 minutes and wait for the damn bus. The best thing you can do is to time it so that, like, you're there when the bus pulls up, that you're like skating up, the bus pulls up, you walk right on, and it's easy breezy. That's the best getting on the bus timing. This rush that we're in so much of the time, we're in this rush for everything to happen. We want it to happen right now. And so we're pushing ourselves to get there too soon, get there too soon, get there as fast as we can. You get there as fast as you can, but you're not the only player on the field. The other cooperative components, the other people who are going to help you, they may not be there yet. Divine timing means it's not yours. It's not your damn timing. And I know that your timing is, it should have all happened already. It's not that. It's not that. Trust is an ongoing project. It has to keep unfolding. So you can't be like, fine, I trust that the right people out there for me are going to find me. I'm going to make one post. And if it doesn't go viral and the right people don't find me, then it didn't work and it's not true. And I quit. That's not the business. Everything is going to happen through divine timing. So your job is to be available for that, to believe that, to keep staying connected to your inspiration, to keep showing up, to keep sharing your truth, to keep sharing your work, to keep sharing your beauty, to keep putting yourself out there, to keep letting yourself be seen, to keep believing every day that the people who are for you are going to find you, to keep believing that you are a vehicle for inspiration, that you're meant to do things differently, that you're meant to receive fresh ideas, that you're meant to share your wild, unusual beauty that might be very different from what other people do. But that your ideas, your creativity, your wild beauty, it's not so out there that it's not helpful or practical or wonderful to others. So you've got to stop doubting yourself. You've got to stop falling into the trap of doubt that your ideas, right? It's interesting. It's like, I both don't want to be weird. I want to fit in. I want to be accepted. I want everyone to like me, but also, I want to be interesting and I want to be new and I want to be different, right? So there's like this kind of weird dichotomy of both I want to completely fit in, but also like I feel like it might be too boring. There's a little of both happening. So like your ideas are not so out there that they're not helpful and practical to other people. So stop doubting that your ideas are interesting or special enough. It's also not so weird that it's not going to be valuable. Like it's not that. Whatever it is that you think it is, it's not either so weird that no one can relate to it and it's not helpful. If you can relate to it, there's other people who can relate to it. It's not boring. Like whatever it is that you're prejudging this new thing on and thinking it's either too weird or it's too boring, got to stop it. Your inspiration comes directly from source. You are being asked to believe in and recognize the signature of divine intelligence within you. Your inspiration, the things that you want to do, the things that you want to create are the signature of divine intelligence within you. And when you allow yourself to get out of your own way, when you commit yourself to doing the inner work, the shadow work required to heal the old wounds of perfectionism and lack of trust in others, even if you came by them completely honest, even if you had like the most horrific bullying experiences, you've still got to heal those shadow wounds so that you can have faith that the people who are out there for you are going to find you. And so that you can allow yourself to put your work out in the world. When you do that, you are guaranteed success. Like it literally says in the card, like sweet success, like abundant honey will come your way through your commitment to and development of your new ideas. It's time to believe in yourself. I always draw a shadow card for us, and the shadow we got was get creative. And this card talks about wanting to fit in so bad, right? We absorb all of this cultural stigma around creativity. But creativity is what brings flow to our life. It's what brings excitement. It's what brings joy. It's what makes people happy. Creativity finds openings. Creativity finds opportunity. Creativity finds new ways to do things, to look at things, new ways to look at things, new ways to accomplish things. There are so many ways to be creative. It can be as simple as like rearranging your living space or taking pictures. Creativity is a way of life. And I just keep coming back to it's some early life experience. It's bullying, it's hypercritical parenting, it's right, whatever this perfectionism is that's like, don't draw attention to yourself, fit in, follow the rules, do everything perfect so that you can just skate under the radar. It has killed off a lot of your creativity, because creativity is weird. Creativity is different. Creativity is not always cookie cutter. And I especially am getting this feeling, if this is about online marketing, if this is about you creating a business and sharing it with the world, like you're looking at how everyone else is doing things, you're looking at how everyone else is running their Instagram, you're looking at everyone else's marketing emails, and you're thinking, well, I have to do it like that to be successful, but I don't like that. And that doesn't feel good to me. But I'll only be successful if I'm doing what those people are doing. So I'm trying to conform and I'm trying to fit in, but that doesn't feel natural. And so I'm struggling, and then I'm avoiding it because it doesn't feel good, right? Like this is just a loop. And I see this a lot with my creative clients. Like you have this life-changing creative work that you do, but then you're trying to like shoehorn it into this cookie cutter business model and be like other people. And that feels bad, but you're telling yourself that's the only way to be successful. Like, no, it's time to get creative. You get to be creative about how you share this work. You get to be creative about how you express this stuff. Maybe you need a pen name. Maybe you need a disguise. Maybe you need to have an archetype. Maybe you need a gimmick. Maybe you need a format that you create, like whatever, like maybe you need to do it just your way and it's totally different. So often when people are trying to be successful, especially online, we fall into this trap of looking at what other people are doing and trying to emulate what other people are doing and convincing ourselves that the only way to be successful is the way that other people are successful. And all this creates is followers and cookie cutters. But what makes a lot of the times, like what makes something a rapid success is that it's different, is that it's creative, is that it's not something people have seen before. And so the shadow right now is you not allowing yourself to really dive into, lean into, nurture your creativity. That's what's being asked of you right now, to get into your creativity and to share things your way, to create your way, to trust that your creative impulses are going to take you somewhere good. That's how the people who are right for you are going to find you, is through your creativity. It's not through you trying to be cookie cutter and fit in and do what other people are doing. That's not the move. It's not the business, and it's not going to get you the results that you're looking for. So that's the word. It came through really strong. So I feel like this one in particular was like for some very specific people. If this was helpful to you, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Just let me know if this reading was resonant for you. And again, if you need to work on this with support, if you want help, if you want someone to walk with you through all of this inner work, and through the execution, right? The outer work. That is what I do in coaching. You will hear me say all the time, your inner game and your outer game have to be worked on at the same time. So even if it's something as simple as starting to share your work online, yes, there are how-to steps. Here's how to create an Instagram grid. Here's how to do your marketing. There's all of that, just exactly what to do. But all of this inner work, this perfectionism, these limiting beliefs, these old traumas, these things that live in your body that prevent you from taking those steps, they always need to be addressed and cleared before you can take the steps. If they didn't, you would have taken the steps already. So we have to do this work in tandem. And that is what I do with my clients. We're not just working on the back end of your business, we're working on your emotional back end. We're working on the back end of your life. So if you need someone to walk with you through next year and support you in creating this thing that you've been wanting to create and getting yourself out there into the world and taking the practical steps required to do it, I would love to work with you. Again, I only take 5 people into Best Year Yet. And if you sign up right now in September, you get 3 months of coaching free, as well as the longest possible payment plan, a 16-month payment plan. I'm going to read a comment. Somebody on Instagram commented, "Thank you so much. It was definitely on the money with the messages I've been receiving. I keep doubting myself in many arenas. Even despite the divine ordinance and guidance, I keep receiving to maintain hope and getting to the work no matter what." Thank you, Dancing Lady 333. I really appreciate you sharing. And again, this is the work I do with people. So if you're needing help with this, I would love to help you there are ways to clear this stuff. And I also want you to really understand that if you've been unable to take those steps, it's not your fault, right? There are reasons. There's always a reason. Everything that we do makes perfect sense. And if your brain really thinks that it's protecting you from something bad happening, you're not going to be able to take those steps because you're not going to think it's safe. So there's inner work that must be done to help align and organize your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, your nervous system capacity with the actions that you're wanting to take to make those actions feel safe and plausible within your body. And if we don't do that inner work, it is going to be very difficult for you to maintain doing the actions that you want to do and taking the steps that you want to take. That is the entire crux of the coaching work that I do with people, is getting your inner game on board with creating the reality that you are desiring to create in your life and in your business. So if that is something you need help with, I would love to help you. Again, all you have to do is comment best year yet. You can also email best year yet to intuitiveedgecoaching@gmail.com, and I will get that all over to you. And we can talk about working together in 2025, as well as getting you free coaching for October, November, and December. Okay. That's what I have for you today. I hope that this was helpful. I would love to hear your reflections. Thank you so much for being with